that we here highly resolve these dead shall not have died in vain, that the nation shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom.
This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom.
This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom.
This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom.
This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom.
This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom.
This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom.
That this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom.
The nation shall have a new birth of freedom.
Message, I think, about the race war and those of us that are keeping up with the lies of it. One is when the white nationalists came out, and many white people and black people, hell, anybody that looks at race is differently. Like, we look at a white person as white, a black person as black, Chinese person looks Asian, Mexican person looks Spanish, and we think of it as in terms of race. And different races. Sure, I guess some would want to preserve their race or be pure blood, like the Indians claim. A lot of the tribal issues, or how much of the bloodline you are. Even with the government, if you want to claim Indian heritage, you have to be a certain percentage of bloodline. But with the white race only being 10% of the global population, and 77% of the American population being one of the greater white populations, as in Australia and Great Britain, they get worried about the white race being bled out, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Good people that aren't necessarily racist or think they're better or supremacist. Their concern is for their race, the white race. So I've been thinking about it, trying to think of an answer, because this was also a fear in the 1920s and it didn't happen. In fact, the white population in America grew, and it's sustained across the globe. So it's not really going down percentage-wise. It's just these fears promoted, these lies promoted. So I just want to point this out right here. I was asked the other day what I thought about all the commercials, the biracial commercials that show a black man and a white woman, and they said it was some kind of conspiracy to keep to bleed the white race out. Well, I got to thinking about that. Isn't the bloodline with the male? I mean, in the natural world, let's just stick with the natural law. The bloodline comes from the male, from the father. So if black men are breeding with white women, if black men are having kids through a white woman, then haven't they just bled out their own bloodline or thinned out their own bloodline? So it would be, you see what I'm getting at now? So how can the white race be being bled out by black men? They would be bleeding out the black population. And I think black men should think about that. If you're a black person and you're proud of being black and you're proud of your race and you want to see your race sustained, if you're going to look at it as individual races and not the human race, like many of us are trying to do, then wouldn't you be bleeding out your own race by being with a white woman? Because I don't care who you love now before you come back at me. I don't care who you love. I don't care how you live. I think there's a great population of what everybody calls the mixed babies, or beautiful, very intelligent children, if you have not noticed. And they're growing into beautiful, intelligent adults. And I'm very proud of all of them, my grandchildren included, and many of your grandchildren and children. So I see a great hope, by the way, with America being the melting pot that it is. But I'm just trying to point out the fears of basic natural law. You can't break natural law. You can break, man's law changes and God's laws change. But man's law, natural law don't never change. So the bloodline comes from the male. So all the white nationalists screaming about preserving their race and all these people talking about having a pure white race, well, the black man can't do that to you. It cannot even affect your race. So what's your problem? So you got any more lies you want to believe? Because I just busted out that lie. So don't believe that lie no more. I'm telling you, brother, don't believe that lie. And another thing is, no races are getting bled out. Like I said, if anything, we're gaining a new population, a very hungry-minded, strong-willed, beautiful people to add to our human race, just people. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, if a white man's with a black woman, I guess somebody's going to bring that up. So let's go on and throw it out there before it gets brought up. I just think back to Thomas Jefferson. All the black side of Thomas Jefferson's bloodline managed a decade or so ago to become a part of that family and a part of that annual gathering for Thomas Jefferson. So does that make them any more black or white than what they are? I don't know, but they were accepted by a white family because of a white father. So you got to look at the bloodline, and you got to look at the lies and how we're being manipulated. Remember, we are being manipulated. That's the one thing we can agree on, that we're being played against each other. And one of these lies is, I'm just protecting my race. Well, if you're a white man, you're in charge of protecting your race. If you're a black man, you're in charge of protecting your race. If you're a Chinese man, you're in charge of protecting your race. If that's what you feel you have to do, and you really fear that, then you worry about it, because the male is the bloodline. Females are the life givers. So we need to respect the ladies, and we all see a lot of our kids come out looking like our mamas, thank God. But you got to drop some of this bullshit, some of the lies that are keeping us divided, because look around, look at what's going on, look at the crazy weather, look at the crazy way they're acting in D.C. and that big puppet show up there. Nothing seems real out of that anymore. Everything's kind of floating around right now. We're all waiting for something, big solar flares, wherever you want to, no matter what you believe in. Everybody of every belief feels something in the air. And so we need to start dropping some of these lies that are keeping us divided. And I think that's a major one. So you tell me what you think too, because that's very important to me, because I'm learning, and we're all evolving and growing out here, and trying to figure some things out. So we can all unify and save our planet. What we got left of it, what we got left of our humanity, we need to save, and we need to remember what it's like to be human and to be brothers, and then see that we're lied on. Because I think this is a major lie, y'all. That to think another race can bleed out your race. I think that's a major lie to bust out, and it just got busted out. All right, y'all be good. I'm going to enjoy this beautiful day, and might even chief up a little bit. Good day to chief up. And love you, brother. Go to somebody and tell them, hey, I love you, and I appreciate you for who you are. Glad you're here with me, enjoying this crazy time we're living through right now. Because I love y'all, and I appreciate this crazy time we're living through. So y'all be good, and think about that and tell me what you think. I think I'm on to something. Y'all be good. Don't live in fear.
That's the story.